Let's move now to Nelson Mandela Bay. In the grip of a devastating drought and dire water shortages, the city has for the past 24 hours been grappling with fire as well. Firefighters have been busy in a number of areas, including Beachview and Bay West. Let's get the latest from the Nelson Mandela Bay Mayor, Retief Odendaal. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for your time this evening. Of course, I would imagine hot, dry and windy conditions. Everything is so dry because of the drought. It's a bit of a tinderbox. Talk to me about where the fire started and the current situation.
Well, there were fires all over Nelson Mandela Bay, at least 12 different areas where fires started. And I have to say that at this stage, most of the fires are under control. Our fire services have done absolutely amazing work. As one can imagine, these poor people are very, very tired. They've worked for 48 hours non-stop. They couldn't even work in shifts because there were so many fires that they had to put out, and they're still going. At the moment, most of the fires are under control, if not all under control. But unfortunately, it looks like we might have some trouble with the wind. It looks like it's about to pick up. So during the course of tonight, we'll know whether those fires will flare up. But they've done absolutely amazing work, and they've prevented loss of life, and they've prevented huge damage to property. At this stage, what we can confirm is, apart from some instances where municipal property, like electricity poles and lampposts have been destroyed, it was actually just damage to one specific house in Beachview, and that damage has been contained.
That is remarkable. Obviously, your city is in the midst of a terrible drought. Have you been using helicopters to gather seawater to put the fires out? How did you actually tackle this with water at something of a premium?
Well, unfortunately, we had to use non-potable water where possible, but in certain instances, we also had to use potable water. And we also told our residents that where they need to protect their property, they have no choice. If they have to use their garden hoses, they'll have to do so. Obviously, we're very mindful of the fact that our dam combined average total capacity of our dams are sitting at just over 17%. So we're still amidst this critical drought. But I think for today, and over the last 48 hours, preventing damage to property was actually most critical.
So you say most of the fires are, if not all, under control. Does that mean they're basically out?
Yes, they're basically out, but as I say, it will be. We'll see what happens during the night, because unfortunately, it looks like the wind is about to pick up to about 40 kilometers an hour, which will pose a problem. So unfortunately, our very tired firefighters can't go home. They have to monitor the situation, and hopefully, the wind is in our favor and that it doesn't blow and flame up these flames again.
So there's no preventative measure, I suppose. You just have to respond as soon as and as quickly as possible.
Well, you have to be on standby. You have to monitor everywhere where it's actually burned to see for where there could be possible instances where it flares up. I also just want to say that we've just received word an hour or two ago that Gift of the Givers is coming to Kebega, to Nelson Mandela Bay, to come and support our firefighters, and I just on national news want to thank them for always being there for the city and for caring enough about the residents, but especially in this case, our firefighters.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that Gift of the Givers has helped a lot during the drought, and as you say, is always on hand. Speaking of the drought, you mentioned the dams are just over 17% full, so things are still really touch and go for the city and surrounds. I would imagine that you need and hope for a wonderful influx of tourists to boost your coffers, but that at the same time is going to put a strain on your water resources. What's the plan?
Well, look, I think that we've, as a city, actually have managed our water resources fairly well over the last couple of months, and I think that we've made progress. Demand, unfortunately, is not where we want it. Demand is still too high. The city is using about 280 million litres of water a day when it should be using about 235 million litres. But, you know, for now, we are confident that we are ready for our tourists. We are going to be working close by to our accommodation sector, hospitality industry, making sure that they sensitize people that we are a water scarce area, and that we have to conserve whatever water resources we have. But our tourists are welcome. Also remember that big industry, we are a manufacturing hub. Big industry is closing down over December, so we'll be saving a considerable amount of water there on a daily basis. So we're ready for the tourists. We're looking forward to receiving them here in Nelson Mandela Bay, and we're looking forward to the first bumper summer season after lockdown and after COVID.
Yeah, it's been a very difficult time for tourism areas in particular during COVID. Have you got any idea on how healthy bookings are looking in Gqeberha?
We don't have official figures as yet, or I certainly don't have official figures, but I have been told that it's looking quite good. Obviously, we are benefiting from the fact that eThekwini, unfortunately, also has huge challenges with their infrastructure after the recent floods there. So we're benefiting from local tourists that's coming to Nelson Mandela Bay. And what I'm told is that it is looking like we're going to have a bumper season.
All right, well, let's hope that all runs smoothly. Good luck with keeping an eye on those fires overnight. Thank you so much for your time. That was Nelson Mandela Bay Mayor Retief Odendaal telling us the fires do seem to be out for now, but the wind is still pumping, so they really very much are on standby this evening in Nelson Mandela Bay. Now, still